Hello again, everybody. Welcome to this week's MPTV Coaches Show. Ryan Lindley, Brian Dieters, and let's talk state competition. We have two teams at state competition this past week, dance and bowling, and both really had solid finishes.
Yeah, congratulations to both of those teams, finishing, I think, 21st in that range, both of them. And new programs to our school, but really the case in a lot of schools. And as far as the state series goes, I think it's really cool to see that building to more opportunities for students. So I think that's just a win-win in so many ways.
Yeah, I mean, you know, both teams, I think it's the second time in 3 years for each, and that's 3 years total of the program. And it was cool. A lot of kids went to the dance competition to support their classmates. Now, that was just over in Bloomington Normal. That's a little easier. Bowlers were down in Southern Illinois. It's a little bit farther trip down there, but I know our principal, Mr. Edwards, went down there to support him, and he said that it was a great event. So, I mean, I think the cool piece of it also is our compliments to our friends at the IHSA putting on really good events and giving kids different opportunities, you know, with these maybe sports you don't necessarily think about, but getting more kids involved in the state series.
Yeah, amen. I mean, it's great to see. You know, when I started here a long time ago, there was no opportunity to have bowling, dance, cheerleading types of state series. And to see that grow, as we were just saying, is such a cool thing. And both of those programs going to state in 2 of their first 3 seasons. I can tell you in my 25 years of coaching soccer, if it would have been 66%, I would have considered that to be a success. So congratulations to those 2 programs.
Yeah, before we turn the page on that, we've got a brief interview. Compliments to our broadcast journalism class. They sat down with Izzy Sinclair, one of our senior dancers, and interviewed her. So let's take a quick look at that.
My sister did dance when she was a little girl, and I just wanted to follow in her footsteps and become a good dancer. Each week we have about 3 practices, and then on top of that, we also have to dance at basketball games about 2 a week. We're pretty confident. We have a fairly young team, so not expecting a ton, but it'll just be a good learning opportunity and for years forward. I think we need to work on our timing on the turns a little bit and maybe our performance effort, but otherwise, I think that.
All right, so again, a lot of enthusiasm there, and I think that was recorded before they left for the state competition. So, I mean, and again, you know, if you want to see the dance team, I mean, they're still working, right? And Izzy said in the interview, right, they're at basketball games probably about 2 games a week, I think, from here on out. So, I mean, go see our state finalist dancers. You can also see basketball. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Last week, I think you kind of predicted it, that the boys basketball team would beat Metamora. So compliments to you on that one.
Well, thank you. I think that everything just set up right for that. We've been playing really well. We've been playing with a tremendous amount of cohesion. The rhythm's there. The kids are confident. We were new to beat them, and it was in our gym. So, you know, I don't know for sure, but yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah. So, I mean, huge win, right? I mean, puts us in a position for potentially a #1 seed in the regional. The MPTV crew that covered that game, Jonathan Farrell and Troy Dowell, had a chance to talk to Wes Gudeman afterwards. So let's hear what Wes had to say post Metamora.
Quarter. Come out of that quarter, you're down 17-13. Kind of felt like that's when you said, hey, this is my gym. 12 points in the second. Just talk about the mindset that your team had coming into this game and how that propelled you guys through the whole 32 minutes.
You know, I'd say it's a chip on our shoulder because, you know, we had Metamora, you know, we always have them circled. You know, it's our rival. And going to the Shirk Center and losing like we did, all the foul trouble, all the, you know, ifs and buts, but you know, we knew we had to come just get the job done. Don't leave it in the hands of the refs. Don't leave it up to anything. Just come do our job and beat them. So, you know, that was kind of the mentality coming in. Just get the job done. You know, don't leave it up to anything else. Control what we can control and just, you know, prepare to beat them. And that's, you know, after the Shirk Center loss, this one's very meaningful. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, 39-36 heading into the 4th quarter. They make the first bucket and get fouled, have a chance to tie and miss the free throw. 39-38. We outscore them the rest of the way, Wes, 20-1.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was an impressive. We had great runs in the second out, 18-6. The 4th quarter, 20-1 after that first bucket. But the team defense up on Zobris. I mean, you guys were hounding him, harassing him, making things difficult. Created a couple of turnovers. That had to feel good, right? You get all of a sudden you pick the ball up at half court, and it's like, hey, there's nobody in front of me.
Yeah, after one of those, there was a timeout, because it was swinging our way, and I walked up to Owen, and I was like, hey, that's your bucket. You created that, and it's not a statable thing. I get the steal and I get the points, but on film, and we all know, like, that bucket was because of him. So, and shout out to Owen. He had an amazing, I walked up to him when we got subbed out. I was like, I don't know how many points you have, and I don't care. I was like, your defense, your intensity, and what you brought was off the charts. I was like, that was an unbelievable way to affect the game in different ways in scoring.
I mean, everybody just stepped up, right? It's not always what you get in the scorebook. You had 21. Alex McKee had 17. I think Silas had maybe 13.
Was in double digits. Yeah.
But he's always around the ball, right? There's an offensive rebound comes along. There he is. Trip Rugard, some nice steals, some harassment there. Gave you a couple nice passes. But offensively, from the onset, I've watched a lot of games. I feel like a lot of times we don't fall in love with perimeter shots, but we get good three-point looks and we take them. But tonight it seemed like there was just a concerted effort to take the ball to the basket. Was that part of the game plan coming in?
Yeah, we had on the board, we had just dominate the paint. We knew, like, they're big. Zobrist's a big body, Funk's a big body, but we knew that, like man-to-man, all five of us versus all five of them, we could control the paint. And, we knew we could do that, and we got it done.
Yeah.
Wes, you got Pekin this weekend. You got Manual on Saturday. Like, how? Just talk about the culture. I mean, I hear you describing your leadership among the group, celebrating Owen. It seems like chemistry is off the charts right now. Is that your sense as well?
Yeah, I've never been on a team that's felt so much like a brotherhood, and it's crazy because this is the most competitive practices I've ever been a part of. We're at each other's throats, jawing at each other, but we walk off the court and we're all brother. Like, it's the dudes that you compete the hardest with that you grow the closest to. So the culture's there. This is a championship culture. We all hate losing. We all want to win. Yeah. We all have the same goal, and when you get a group of guys like that, it's dangerous. It's really dangerous. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, big one coming up. The thing you got to fight against now is no letdown. You know what I mean? There's still 9 games left on the season. A huge game tonight. Don't get comfortable, right? Just keep challenging each other every day. Go take care of the game on Friday. And Manual's a solid team. Saturday going there will be no easy task.
Yeah, that's the great thing about the Peoria area is you get to see so many different teams. We're going to play Metamora, who's very set oriented, not much pressure. Just good pack line man, and then we're going to go Saturday and play a good Manual team who's going to press us and try to run the floor. So, it's all preparation for postseason. A conference championship is nice, but I'd rather have a ring on my finger.
Absolutely. Well, the nice thing about tonight, we don't know how it's going to play out, but when you look ahead to the Washington sectional, we're in there, Metamora's in there, Peoria High, who's had both of our numbers. And by winning this game, again, knock on wood, keep things going. If we're able to get that number 1 seed, that means Metamora and Peoria have to play in a regional championship before we see them. I don't want to look too far ahead, but
I was looking at that earlier today, and I do think knock on wood, a win tonight put us in the driver's seat for the 1 spot. So,
absolutely.
And that plays, once again, not looking ahead. It's every game, one game at a time, but that plays big for the regional, but also for who we can play in the sectional. I remember last year. Nothing against LaSalle Peru, but Metamora came out and thumped them by 40 in the sectional. So, getting the first seed in the regional does help a lot in the postseason run.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes a difference.
So Wes even says it in the interview, right? I mean, they, kind of look, he's basically what he says is, we don't know what we're going to be seeded, but we feel like this gives us a great case for that number 1 seed. And I mean, seeding isn't everything, but you feel good if you can be at the top when that comes out.
You do. That's what you're aspiring for. But at the end of the day, when you say seeding isn't everything, that's very true, especially in the VHSA with their zonal regionals and things like this. You just got to be ready to play. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing with these guys and the girls as well. So I'm excited as a fan just to see how we continue to move on here in the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely. Let's talk girls basketball just for a second. They've been winning as well. Their big game is about a week away. They got next Tuesday, Washington, which will most likely be for the conference championship. But it's not for the conference championship unless you take care of business leading up to it. And so maybe the key thing for them is they've been taking care of business, beat Limestone and Pekin last week.
Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, right? And again, trust in the system. We've got everything that we need to have a great run in the postseason for that group.
Yeah, compliments to them. Also, we always talk about kind of the things off the court. Pink Night was Saturday. I was a little disappointed. It's probably the first time in a couple of years I've been able to be there. But, I mean, it's really cool to see those kids. I know they did like a hot chocolate stand where they raised money for Illinois Cancer Care. Just seeing them contribute to those things outside of just on the court.
It's what it's about. It's what being a student athlete is about. And also, a credit to the coaches and the parent organizations that help make that happen, because without them, that just doesn't happen. So, congrats.
Absolutely. Let's mention another state team. Their competition is coming up, but our cheerleaders have officially qualified for the state series. We're hoping to hear from them next week on the show, but just kind of awesome that basically in the last 2 weeks, Morton High School's had 3 state qualifying
Yeah,
teams.
it's tremendous. I think they're Friday in Bloomington,
Yeah.
so like Ryan was saying, get on out and support.
Yeah, I mean, that one's easy to get to, right? I mean, and, just a few other things. I mean, let's talk a little bit wrestling and swimming. They both continue to be successful. One of the things I feel like about both those sports is they are high effort sports. And it's the consistency, I think, is what's most impressive to me, is that both groups are consistently, finishing in the top 2 or 3, sometimes even winning meets. Swimming especially has been putting together a couple consecutive meet wins. And, you never want to judge like this sport is harder than that sport, but the amount of effort you put in as a wrestler or a swimmer is pretty impressive.
There's no doubt about it, and those individualized sport, now throw cross country in there a little bit, obviously it's a team, but you're involved as an individual are grueling in their prep, and so it's one of those sports that pain is part of it, and to endure that and accept it is impressive, like you were saying. So
Yeah, absolutely.
These guys.
So compliments to them. The other thing I just want to mention before we wrap up is track season, believe it or not, is going to open up this week. Not competitions yet, but they're going to start practice for the indoor track season, and there'll be competitions here in the next couple of weeks. So we're almost to spring sports, which I know, obviously as a former soccer coach, baseball coach, we kind of love those spring sports, but don't forget about the postseason for those winter sports.
Amen. Still here.
Absolutely. So for Brian Dieters, I'm Ryan Lindley. See you all later.